A story that really, I guess, highlighted it for me. It's a story I heard a few years ago, but just of late, a deeper insight into that story sort of presented, and it was around a group of Tibetan monks about 500 odd years ago that they discovered this clay Buddha, if you like. It was a reclining Buddha covered in clay. Anyway, basically, a job was given to a number of the monks to just clean it and look after this particular structure. Anyway, what happened one day was while cleaning, the monk noticed this glimmering bit of light coming from beneath the clay. And he was like, wow, what's this? I've got to let the head monk know, if you like, that I found something here. Anyway, on an investigation, they found that under the clay was this golden reclining Buddha. Amazing structure. Anyway, the story came out that, a previous 500 years before, the Buddha had been covered in clay to protect it from invading armies. Because it was such a valuable, priceless structure that they wanted to keep it guarded from these armies. And they covered it. What the reason I'm sharing these stories is this analogy really is around our hearts as men. You know, how we create this clay, or if you like, or this mud around our own hearts to really guard us from getting hurt. You know, these may be past hurts that have come up from our family or past relationships that we've become so closed off from feeling our hearts that this ability to connect with our intimate partners has been lost purely because of these layers that we place around our heart. And it's only really through, self-reflection, working on ourselves, getting support and help and expressing, watching videos like this or being part of videos like this, which helps us to start to chip away at that clay. What happens is once we start to chip at the clay, we start to realize that what really lies within each and every man is this beautiful heart, this beautiful, loving heart. And when we think about a well-rounded good man, we think about a strong man, but also a soft heart. And it's the softness of heart with the strength that allows us to have that integration, if you like, of masculine qualities and feminine qualities. And it's only when we start to embrace our feminine qualities, and yes, men, we do have feminine qualities, and we can nurture. It's interesting that they say fathers can have an equal bond with their child as what a mother would if they spend a lot of time with that child. So that tells us that nurturing capacity lies within each and every man as it does within a woman. And it's only the softness of our heart that allows us. So fear. So if we look at fear, for example, as an area which resides on the lower frequency, our lower energy centers, if you like. We look at fear. Fear is all about disconnection. Fear is about jealousy. It's about it's about rage. It's about getting one-upmanship. It's about comparison to others. All these different things. Whereas when we drop into the heart, what it's about is acceptance. It's about compassion. It's about loving myself and loving others. These are the difference. So it's really valuable to take those steps forward. Vulnerability leads us towards the heart. Being vulnerable, isn't it? It's about being imperfect. Being vulnerable allows us to drop into the heart. Really, 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 really important.
Yeah, and I think that's such a good point, because I know when I first started this kind of journey of finding out who I was, I had this illusion of who I thought I should be, built up over years of indoctrination into what I thought the classic man was. And movies would tend to reinforce that, and sports stars would tend to reinforce that as I saw them. So it was all very kind of a brittle thing, There wasn't much room for heart there when I grew up. I didn't even know what my heart was or what feelings were, other than, limited feelings of anger and stuff down sadness, but I wouldn't even go there, of course, But to actually progressively start to get in touch with feelings has actually made me a much more complete person, I have to say. And really shedding tears of the man that I thought I had to be. When I eventually did that, it was an enormous relief. It was like a huge burden had come off, because instead of being an act of who I thought I needed to be, I could start to be me and start to find out who actually I was. And that's a continuing journey, I have to say, Dean, and it's a fascinating one. But it's a lot better than living in this kind of image of who I thought I had to be as a man from a patriarchal background, or wherever the background is, which mine was fairly patriarchal, so that I could actually just kind of drop all that progressively and come into the here and now, who I am, and who I am is okay. And I deserve to love and be loving, and it's a nice place to get to. And I must say, it doesn't happen overnight. It really doesn't happen overnight. There's lots of levels and layers to it. But we've only got this life, depending on what your belief is. But let's just say we've only got this life. How would you like to be living into the future? How would I like to be living into the future? So my hope is with this video is that men will find a way out of a kind of that self-imposed prison, and I have aspects of knowing what that's like.